Hello and welcome to K News. This is Hardik Trivedi. Let's have a look on what is happening in India and in the world. Thousands of protesters took to the streets in New York to demonstrate against the killing of African American George Floyd by a white police officer, setting police vehicles on fire in some areas and several people being arrested through the day. Videos and photos posted on social media on Saturday showed huge crowds gathering in parts of Manhattan, some even outside the Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue, in Times Square, Columbus Circle, Queens and areas in Brooklyn and Bronx to protest the killing of Floyd, who died this week after a white police officer kneeled on his neck while he was handcuffed and pinned to the ground. In his last moment, Floyd can be heard saying, "I can't breathe," which the demonstrators used as a clarion call demanding action against brutality by the police. Social media posts showed a couple of police vehicles being set on fire. A report in NBC News said the protesters shouted the slogans "No justice, no peace" and "Hands up, don't shoot" as they walked the street. A large vehicle was also set ablaze near the Union Square. There were elected officials at this protest, some of whom were pepper sprayed. What a horrible situation that the people who represent us, who are there on behalf of their community peacefully observing, trying to help keep the peace, that they ended up being victim of pepper spraying. That unacceptable, and we need to understand exactly why that happened. There needs to be accountability. Police Commissioner Dermot Shea said the protest in Brooklyn had about 3,000 people who splintered into the several smaller protests. He said over 200 people were arrested and multiple officers injured. She said the police recovered a firearm, brass knuckles, and a person was arrested for attempted murder of 4 police officers by throwing a Molotov cocktail into an occupied marked police van. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said there is an injustice in the criminal justice system that is abhorrent. The government said America's history of discrimination and racism dates back hundreds of years. Peaceful protest is a basic civil right. That right should be protected and guarded. We take the designation to investigate last night's action very seriously. We will act independently to seek answers, ensure that the truth is laid bare, and that there is accountability for any wrongdoing. We will be transparent in our findings. The tobacco industry invests $9 billion every year to advertise its products targeting youngsters, with over 40 million children aged 13 to 15 years presently using nicotine items globally. The World Health Organization has warned. The UN agency is focusing on spreading awareness among teenagers to mark World No Tobacco Day on Sunday. More than 40 million young people today aged 13 to 15 have already started to use tobacco, the WHO said, as it launched a kit for school students aged 13 to 17 to alert them about the marketing tactics of the tobacco industries. Every year, the tobacco industry invests more than $9 billion to advertise its products. Increasingly, it is targeting young people with nicotine and tobacco products in a bid to replace the 8 million people that its product kill every year. Educating the youth is vital because nearly 9 out of 10 smokers start before 18 years. We want to provide young people with the knowledge to speak out against tobacco industry manipulation, said Director of Health Promotion at WHO. In a bid to prevent addiction among 13 to 17-year-olds, the agency has highlighted commonly used tactics to watch out for. The WHO also noted the 15,000 odd flavors of tobacco items which are sold, such as bubblegum and candy, are introduced in the market to attract youngsters who are likely to become serious nicotine users later in life. The tobacco industry has also lobbied for its products to be listed as essential. The WHO has also launched a classroom activities kit that puts the students in the shoes of the tobacco industry to make them aware of how the manipulative tactics used by the industry. Countries can protect children from industry exploitation by putting in place strict tobacco control laws, including regulating products like e-cigarettes that have already begun to hook a new generation of young people. The Delhi government has demanded rupees 5,000 crore assistance from the centre to be able to pay salaries to its employees. Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said on Sunday. Sisodia, who also holds the finance department charge, said the Delhi government requires 3,500 crore per month to pay salaries to its employees and to meet other needs. However, in past 2 months, our GST collection has been only rupees 500 crores each month. We need to at least 7,000 crore to be able to pay salaries to our employees, many of them who are discharging frontline duties against the coronavirus epidemic, Sisodia said in a press conference. The Deputy CM said that in a letter to Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, he had demanded rupees 5,000 crore from the centre as Delhi did not get anything from the disaster relief fund that was given to the other states. An encounter broke out between security forces and militants in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir, police said on Sunday. A cordon-head search operation was launched in Poshkaveri area in Anantnag district in South Kashmir during the night following information about the presence of militants, a police official said. He said as the forces were conducting searches, the militants fired upon them. The forces retaliated, triggering a gunfight, he added. The exchange of firing is going on and further details are awaited, the official said. US President Donald Trump on Saturday postponed the outdated Group of Seven summit that he planned to hold in June at the White House, seeking inclusion of India and some other countries to grouping of world's top economies. Trump told reporters traveling with him on board the Air Force One from Florida to Washington, D.C. that he is postponing it until September and plans to invite Russia, South Korea, Australia and India. I don't feel that as a G7 it properly represents what's going on in the world. It's a very outdated group of countries. Elisa Alexandra Farah, White House Director of Strategic Communications, said that this bringing together our traditional allies to talk about how to deal with the future of China. German Chancellor Angela Merkel's office had said on Saturday that she would not attend the summit unless the course of the coronavirus spread had changed by then. G7 is a forum of 7 countries with the world's largest and most advanced economies: France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United States, the United Kingdom and Canada. Heads of the states of these countries meet annually on international economic and monetary issues. The US holds the presidency of the G7 this year. During the summit, G7 president normally invites heads of the state of 1 or 2 countries to attend the meeting as a special invitee. Last year, French President Emmanuel Macron had invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the G7 summit. Trump taking about inviting India to the next G7 summit is reflective of the growing international status of the country. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
Vesavi Avtundi fan with the cooler number 1. Ika Chesco more fun unte cooler number 1. Ika don't run from the sun unte Kenstar number 1.
पहली नजर में हो गया मैं दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर सुहाना मैं दीवाना दीवाना
कचारिया टाइल्स, जो देखे वो दीवाना।
आकाश की सीमा है, उस सीमा से शुरू होता है कैनस्टार। कैनस्टार एक ऐसा ब्रांड जो 20 साल पहले लाया कूलर इंडस्ट्री में एक रेवोल्यूशन। एक ऐसा ब्रांड जिसने 50 लाख से ज्यादा कस्टमर्स की जिंदगी बदल दी। एक ऐसा ब्रांड जिसके 4 मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लांट्स और R&D सेंटर लाएंगे कूलिंग की अगली बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी। तो क्या है कैनस्टार की कोई सीमा? आइए आप और हम तोड़ें हर सीमा। आने वाला वक्त होगा और भी सुनहरा। फ्यूचर इज अस, फ्यूचर इज कैनस्टार।
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. A Delhi High Court on Saturday granted interim bail for 10 days to former municipal councillor from the Congress Ishrat Jahan, who has been booked under the stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act to get married. She has been booked under the anti-terror law in a case related to communal violence in northeast Delhi in February. Additional Sessions Judge Dharmender Rana granted the interim relief from June 10 to June 19 to Jahan on furnishing 2 sureties of rupees 1 lakh. The court directed her not to tamper with any evidence or influence the witnesses in the case. According to the interim bail plea filed through the advocate S.K. Sharma and Lalit Vasicha, Jahan's marriage was fixed in 2018 for June 12, 2020. The plea further said that Jahan would not tamper with any evidence or influence the witness if granted bail. The petition also filed through advocates Tushar Anand and Manu Prabhakar claimed that Jahan has been falsely implicated in the case. It alleged that upon bare perusal of the context of the FIR, no incident or violence can be attributed to her, and the wild and baseless allegations made against her were not only irresponsible and false, but also caused serious harm to her reputation. Jahan, who is also an advocate, was only a supporter of ongoing peaceful protests, and it was one of the fundamental rights of the citizens to protest and register their dissent against any unreasonable measures of the government. The move to update Nepal's new map, which includes a stretch of land high in the mountains that India claims as its own, has gathered momentum, with the ruling Left Alliance moving a constitution amendment bill today. The opposition Nepali Congress has said it would vote in favor of the amendment. Amid friction with India over the issue, in Nepal it usually takes a month to pass a constitutional amendment bill. But this time, in view of the people's sentiments, the Nepali parliament may bypass several procedures to get the bill passed in the next 10 days, sources said. The opposition assurance means the bill, which requires 2/3 majority, will get passed. Earlier this month, the ruling party had cleared the map, drawing fierce reaction from India, which described the move as unilateral and not based on historical facts. Such artificial enlargement of territorial claims will not be accepted by India, Anurag Srivastava, spokesperson for the Foreign Ministry, had said. Nepal is well aware of India's consistent position on this matter, and we urge the government of Nepal to refrain from such unjustified categorical assertion and respect India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Nepal has claimed the territory which touches the border with China under a treaty made with East India Company during the British period. The new map made public earlier this month shows a sliver of land on the east of River Kali jutting out from the northeastern tip of Nepal. The area includes the Lipu Lake Pass in Uttarakhand and also Limpiadura and Kalapani, which are highly strategic areas which India has been guarding since 1962 war with China. The controversy over the map surfaced as India opened a new road connecting the Lipulek Pass with Kailash Mansarovar route in China on May 8, as Nepal protested, saying it wanted to put up a security post in the area. The center said the road lies completely within the territory of India and follows the route used by the pilgrims. Those who are coming from India through illegal channels are spreading the virus in the country, and some local representative and party leaders are responsible for bringing in people from India without proper testing, Mr. Oli told Parliament. Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut on Sunday alleged that event held in Ahmedabad to welcome US President Donald Trump in February was responsible for the spread of coronavirus in Gujarat and later in Mumbai and Delhi, which some of his delegates had visited. Mr. Raut also hit out at the center, saying that the lockdown was implemented without any planning, but now the responsibility of lifting the curbs was left to the states. The Sena MP said that despite the opposition BJP attempts to pull down Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government, there was no threat to it, as its survival is the compulsion of all the three ruling allies, Sena, NCP and Congress. It can't be denied that the spread of coronavirus in Gujarat was because of the massive public gathering held to welcome US President Donald Trump. Some of the delegates who accompanied with Trump also visited Mumbai, Delhi, which led to the spread of the virus. Mr. Raut said in his weekly column in Shiv Sena mouthpiece Samna on February 24, Trump along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi had taken part in a road show in Ahmedabad, which was attended by thousands of people. After the road show, the two leaders had addressed a gathering of over 1 lakh people at Motera Cricket Stadium run by Gujarat Cricket Association. Gujarat had reported its first coronavirus cases on March 20, when samples of a man from Rajkot and a woman from Surat tested positive for the disease. Mr. Raut said that any move to pull down the Uddhav Thackeray-led MVA government and impose president's rule in the state, citing its failure to curb the coronavirus pandemic, would be suicidal. The state had witnessed how president's rule was imposed and lifted as per will 6 months ago. If the handling of coronavirus cases is the basis of imposing president's rule, then it should be done in at least 17 states, including the BJP ruled ones. Even the central government has failed to curb the pandemic, as it had no planning to fight the virus. The lockdown was imposed without any planning, and now without any plan, the responsibility of lifting it has been left to the states. This chaos will further worsen the crisis. BJP MP Narayan Rane had recently met Maharashtra Governor B.S. Koshyari and demanded imposition of President's rule in view of the Shiv Sena-led state government failure in tackling the coronavirus pandemic. However, BJP had later said it was not trying to destabilize the government. Even if there are internal conflicts among the ruling partners, there is no threat to the government, as the allies knows that its survival is the compulsion of each one of them. Mr. Fadnavis, in an online media interaction, had earlier recently said he had no intention to destabilize the MVA government and said it would collapse on its own. What Fadnavis means is that all attempts of the BJP to create discord among the three allies and break the MLAs has failed. Now the opposition hopes that something would happen among the allies and the government would be fall apart. Mr. Raut said NCP President Sharad Pawar is the prominent leader who laid the foundation stone of the Thackeray Sarkar, and only he can predict the future of the government. He continues to say the government is stable and even the Congress is not going anywhere. MBA legislators are not up for sale in horse trading. Hence, if the opposition says that the government will fall, it is wrong. A low pressure area developing over Arabian Sea will intensify into a cyclonic storm in the next 48 hours and will reach Maharashtra and Gujarat coast on June 3. Weather agency India Meteorological Department said on Sunday. The warning comes days after cyclone Amphan left a trail of destruction in West Bengal. The low pressure area over Arabian Sea to intensify into cyclonic storm during next 48 hours. It would reach near North Maharashtra and South Gujarat coast around 3rd June morning, the IMD tweeted. A low pressure area has formed over southeast and adjoining east central Arabian Sea and Lakshadweep area with associated cyclonic circulation extending up to mid-meteorospheric level. The Regional Meteorological Center Mumbai had earlier tweeted, the cyclonic storm is likely to cause rainfall in several parts of the country, the agency said. Under the influence of above system, light to moderate rainfall at most places with isolated heavy to very heavy falls very likely over Lakshadweep area, Kerala and coastal Karnataka on May 31 and June 1. Light to moderate rainfall as most places with isolated heavy falls very likely over Konkan and Goa on 2nd and 3rd June. The weather office said in a statement. Light to moderate rainfall at most places with heavy to very heavy rainfalls at few places and extremely heavy falls at isolated places over North Konkan and North Madhya Maharashtra on 3rd and 4th June. Light to moderate rainfall at most places with isolated heavy to very heavy rainfalls likely to over South Gujarat state, Daman, Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli on 3rd June and with heavy to very heavy falls at a few places. 98 deaths linked to cyclone Amphan were reported in West Bengal. Besides waste damage to infrastructure, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who visited the state later, announced an interim relief package of rupees 1000 crore. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal on Sunday held an interaction with bosses of various pharmaceutical industry companies and representatives of the sector-related bodies. During the interaction, Mr. Goyal lauded the pharma industry for its efforts during the prevailing COVID-19 crisis and said that India has been recognized as the pharmacy of the world for providing essential medicines to over 120 countries during the last 2 months. Mr. Goyal also said that anti-dumping investigation process has been expedited and assured the industry bosses to prompt remedial action in case of any roadblock or any instance to unfair competition. He informed the gathering that the government has decided to disinvest in certain pharma industry PSUs and invited the companies to use PSUs for plug-and-play model of manufacturing. The minister assured the industry of government support in its expansion, diversification and strengthening, adding that the pharma industry has an important role to play in the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. The meeting held through video conferencing was also attended by junior ministers and secretaries of the health and commerce ministries. The minister also said that the country has adequate production capacity and abundant stock of hydroxychloroquine and paracetamol for its projected domestic requirements, and putting restrictions on their exports is a measure to ensure that the medicines are made available to all the needy nations and no unscrupulous element stocks them for unwanted gains. Mr. Goyal also claimed that early announcement of the lockdown helped the country in preventing and containing the course of pandemic and also scaling up the health infrastructure and build capacity. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.